guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a long-awaited book review for you guys that I've been promising for so long, and that is A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow. This book is written by Laura Taylor Namey, and first off, let me just say I absolutely love this book. I'm not going to be sharing any spoilers. I don't like my book review videos to have spoilers in them because I'm a type of person who doesn't like spoilers, so I don't give spoilers. So, but I will be reading the description that's inside the book cover, just so you guys get a little bit of an understanding of what this book is about. For Leila Reyes, a summer in England was never part of the plan. The plan was, 1. Take over her abuela's role as head waiter at their panaderia. I think that's how you say that. 2. Move in with her best friend after graduation. And 3. Live happily ever after with her boyfriend. But then the trifecta happened, and everything, including Leila herself, fell apart. Worried about Leila's mental health, her parents make a new plan for her. Spend 3 months with her family friends in Winchester, England, to relax and reset. But with the lack of sun, a grumpy inn cook, and a small town lacking Miami flavor, both in food and otherwise, what would be a dream trip for some feels more like a nightmare to Leila, until she meets Orion Maxwell. A tea shop clerk with troubles of his own, Orion is determined to help Leila out of her funk and appoints himself as her personal tour guide. From Winchester's drama-filled music scene to the sweeping English countryside, it isn't long before Leila is charmed not only by Orion, but also by England itself. Soon, a new future begins to form in Leila's mind, one that would mean leaving everything she ever planned behind. Just by that description, I was hooked. I wanted to know more about Leila and just learn more about her background and what happens in England. But first, I absolutely love the cover. It has very much of cozy autumn feels, but also travel. I love to travel, and I've never been to England, but I've always wanted to. I have a friend who lives in England. I have a few friends who live in the UK actually, but I've never been, and I would love to one day. And this just made me want to travel to England, honestly, you know. Get my passport, hop on a jet plane, and let's go. But this definitely kind of helped with my wanderlust bug during 2020 when obviously couldn't travel anywhere. So I definitely did appreciate that when I was reading it. First off, I just have to say, I love Leila. I think she's such an interesting character. She's very complex. There's a lot going to her. There's a lot going on in her personal life, and there's a lot going on in her life in general. And I thought what was really interesting with this book is Orion, how he's getting to know her. He literally has to peel layer of her to get to know her because walls were up and she's like, nah, I want to go back to Miami. I don't want to be here. And that's how she was towards him, but that's also how Leila was to the readers. Throughout the whole book, you're still learning more and more and more about her, but also you're learning more and more and more about Orion too, because there's lots of layers to them. I love books where there's a lot of layers to the characters. Like the characters aren't just spelled out to you on the first page. Like you have to go on this journey. So I really appreciate books when they're like that. I also like that this book isn't fully like a full-blown love story. You know what I mean by that? Like when the characters meet, it's not like instantly like love at first sight. I don't really like books like that because I need more meat. I need more background. I need more character development. And with this book, there's a lot of character development because there's a lot of character growth for Leila in this, but there's also a lot of character growth in Orion for this. And I really appreciate that that's how it's written, where, yeah, it is a love story. There is a love story. but it's not immediate. It grows over time, and I think that's really beautiful to read. And I don't know, you get to fall in love more with the characters too as you go along with that journey. There's a part in the description where it said that Leela was going to take over as head baker at her family's little restaurant. So obviously it's mentioned that Leela cooks, and one of my parents is a chef, and I am constantly around food. I've grown up around it and all the culinary terms and such. So it was so fun to just hear how all there's different parts where Leela cooks throughout the book, and those sections are so descriptive that you can literally smell and taste, not eat, not taste. Let me take that back. You can see it and smell it, literally. You feel like you're there in front of the food, smelling it. I really appreciate those chapters because it's just things that I'm surrounded with. I'm able to read about it, and I don't know. It's a little bit of comfort. It's a little bit of familiarity for me, and I like seeing the amount of love and passion that Leela puts into her cooking. And it's the same like with my dad when he's cooking. I love seeing and learning from him, and also seeing how she's teaching her love of cooking with others as well, and sharing that with others. Also, there's this whole chapter where she just talks about the food in detail, and it's amazing. It did make me hungry. It made me want to eat it. And I wished I was in this book so I could try it. But, oh my gosh, there should be a recipe book based off of this book. That needs to happen. Leela's cookbook. That needs to be a thing. Just saying. That'd be cool. I'd buy it. But it was just fun to read the culture of Miami, and just the culture that Leela brought with her to England. I think that's really cool to see just different cultures combining in this book, and also her learning a little bit more about England, about how the English eat and what they drink and such. And there's tea mentioned in this book. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I feel like if I talk about that, it's kind of a spoiler. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but there's a tea that's mentioned in here. And since I heard about that tea, I've been obsessed with that tea ever since, and drink it almost every single day. I mean, I'm a tea person anyways, but with this, I was just like, I need to try that. And then once I tried it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read the book, then you need to read the book so you can catch up to know what I'm talking about. There we go. But I loved reading about the sights and the sounds of England. As I said earlier, it kind of helped with my little wanderlust bug and wanderlust heart of wanting to travel last year. And it just, I felt like I was there. I felt like I was there in England, able to see all of these beautiful things. There's a place in here. I shouldn't mention the place because then it'd be a spoiler, but there's a place in here that I'd never heard of, and I was asking my dad about it, who cooks, and I was asking him like, hey, do you know what this place is about? And he said yes, and told me about it, and I thought that was pretty cool. I can't talk anymore about that because then it'll become a spoiler, but I felt like I was there, and it was just really special to read. See, with my spoiler-free review videos, I can never tell if I'm making any sense because I don't want to spoil anything, so then I feel like I'm not sharing anything about the book, but I am sharing stuff about the book. But then again, I feel like I'm going in circles. But you guys have said you like these videos, so but honestly guys, if you guys are just looking for a nice cozy read, I highly recommend A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow. It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I can't say anything bad about it. Like, it's a beautiful book and I love it so much. Fun fact, so as you guys know, if you guys have been following my channel for a bit, I've done book reviews on 5 Feet Apart and All This Time, which are written by Rachel Lippincott and Mickey Daughtry. And I was actually talking with Rachel right before this book was going to come out. I was talking to Rachel about it, and I said, is this book any good? Like, do you like it? And she goes, oh my gosh, it is one of my favorites. You must read it. And I'm like, okay, we'll see if I like it. Like, I'll get it. Sure, why not? I get the book, and you know how there are some authors who like say like, oh my gosh, it's a great book, and they like, it's in the back of the book and such. Rachel was at the top. And Rachel said, A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow is an absolute delight, cozier than a hand-knit gray cardigan and richer than Abuela's pastelito recipe. Naomi takes you from Miami to Winchester and leaves your heart belonging to both. Rachel Lippincott, #1 New York Times bestseller author, 5 Feet Apart. I had no idea that Rachel had written something on the back, and so I get the book and I'm like, oh, yeah, you did like the book. So, but yeah, I'm also very picky on different romance books that I like. So the fact that I love this one, it speaks volumes, the fact that I love this book, because I'm very picky on my romance books. So I highly recommend this, and also it's a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, not gonna lie, but it's like a good emotional roller coaster. It's not like you'll be shattered, it's like a comfort. I feel like this book is like a hug. Like, if you could describe a book as a hug, I would say this would be the book. It's just like that cozy book, that good comfort book. Yeah, that's how I describe it. I need to end this video because now I'm just going in circles. But anyways, that's my book review for Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, and you should go read it. Yeah. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this book review, even though it was kind of all over the place. And I've been talking for 17 minutes, and I did not know that. Oh goodness, gotta shorten that. But that's it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!